learn how to handle it. Realized I'll never get rid of it, so I had to channel it for good. I'll always be an addict, but now I am addicted to all this hope I give to you. Yo, I'm living proof that if you change your mind, you can change your life. Rest in peace to the old me, cause he had to die. I am redeemed, sober, recovered, clean. I ain't give it up, just had to switch it up the way I fiend. Now I fiend for the opposite on a positive level. 2 middle fingers up, looking at the devil. What's up? Against the odds, more than ever in my life I am focused, serving hope to the hopeless who are living against the odds. I'm from the mud, the dirt of society, and that created this driving me to help the whole world that's living against the odds. I know some of you are struggling and probably pissed at God. I was too, but I realized nothing happened to me, it happened for me. Here to tell the story of everyone that's living against the odds.
What's up, everybody? How's everybody doing tonight? Hope everybody's having a great Saturday. I got my guy JP here with us.
What up? What up, everybody?
Yeah, man. I'm representing the official Minnesota Hope Dealerz swag tonight. That is my man JP. That's all him, man. So if you need some of that stuff, you hit him up afterwards. But that's why we're repping the official Minnesota Hope Dealerz swag. He does have a Facebook group. He's in recovery. He's in the recovery scene. He's a great guy. But first, before I get into introducing him officially, I'm jumping ahead of myself. I want to thank you guys for tuning in. First and foremost, I would love for everybody, if you're the praying type, say a prayer for Louisiana. Say a prayer for Louisiana. Let's pray. Let's say a prayer for Louisiana for the severe weather that's hitting them. I got a lot of family in Louisiana, got a lot of loved ones, and I definitely want to give a shout out and make sure that we're praying for them. And I want to thank you guys for tuning in to another episode of Saturday Night Live on Against the Odds Facebook page. You guys have continued to support this page and continue to like and share. I'm going to ask you guys to please do me a favor so we can spread hope to the hopeless tonight. We want to get this video seen in as many groups as possible.
Share it.
Share it, baby. Let's share this video.
Share some hope.
Let's share some hope, man. Saturday night, there's a lot of negativity out there in the world. We know it. Let's share some hope, some inspiration, and some recovery on the airwaves tonight on social media. We are launching live on Facebook, and we are live on YouTube as well. Man, last week we had JP's wife on, Veronica. Veronica is told an amazing story, and it was a great time. Bottom line is now we have JP here. JP's here to tell his hope, his inspiration, and his story. JP definitely has overcame the odds that were stacked against him. We don't always get to choose where we grow up. We don't get to choose our parents. I know I didn't. Sometimes it feels like the odds are stacked against us young. Sometimes the odds can be stacked against people just because they're stacked against people, just because it's the way it is, man. You know what I mean? And that feeling, right? And when we overcome that, man, we got to deal that out. We got to deal that hope out because we got hope, right? We got some hope, and we're going to be dealing it tonight with the official Minnesota Hope Dealer, JP. I'm going to let you go ahead and speak, brother. Tell your story.
Thank you for that, man. That was well said too, man. Thank you. I'm honored to be on your show too, man. So thank you for having me. I grew up in the streets of Chicago. Single mother, only child. You know what I mean? We lived like in a studio apartment and stuff like that, man. End up going out to the streets, man. Getting involved with the gang life and being around gang violence and stuff like that, man. So I started hustling at an early age. I was around it like 13, but I didn't start doing it to myself like 16, 17. And just, you know what I'm saying? It's just, it was a war zone, man. We grew up in a war zone, man. We walking over dead bodies, man. People dying. It just was an everyday thing, man. It was, you know, when you live in the midst of chaos, it don't seem like it. It don't seem like chaos. You know what I mean? But we knew it was bad, but we tried to make it the best out of a bad situation. So you know, what I mean, we end up, you know, just like drinking and smoking, man. I pretty much was like drinking and smoking every day for like 20, 25 years. You know what I mean? This was like even before any type of hard drugs or anything got into the picture. So I was already um, a person experiencing alcoholism. You know what I mean? So you know, I've been in a penitentiary about 3 times in 3 different states. I've probably been arrested probably like 200 times or something like that, man. You know, so like a lot of the game I learned from, you know what I mean, the people locked up and stuff, which you know, I think like now, like I probably, you know, I learned a lot, but people in jail, you know, they in jail, you don't want to learn, but anyway,
You don't
you know,
want
I'm
to learn.
right, they got caught, you know what I'm saying? So like, you know what I mean, like what, you know what I mean, you know, but I didn't think of it like that. You know, I just soaked a lot of game up or whatever from the streets and stuff like that, man. It's rough. It's rough. A single mother, you know, trying to raise a young boy. You know what I mean? And um, you know, I wanted to do good, man. You know what I mean? I wanted to be good. It's just I just wasn't getting no attention, man. So I was getting it. I started getting attention from the street, and ended up, you know, they became my family, man. You know, the people out in the street, we started hustling together, man. And it was you know, and it was, man. I probably lost like about 30 or 40 people, man, that I know within, you know, and possibly more. I think I stopped counting like after 40. You know what I mean? But it just got hard, man. Every time I tried to do something right, it didn't work out. You know, and my follow through wasn't all that good either, man. Because I deal with mental health issues also. You know what I mean? I'm a manic depressive and stuff like that. So you know, it just saddens me to for me to try to start something and not finish it and stuff like that, man. So you know, I just like, man, I pretty much like gave up on everything, man, and just like, okay, selling drugs is my career. You know what I mean? And then it started getting a little worse in the hood. You know what I'm saying? A little bit bad, man. I started getting older. I went to jail first time. They was calling me young blood or youngin. And you know what I'm saying? Last time I went to jail, they started calling me old school, man. So you know, it's time. I'm like, old school? What you mean? I'm like, no, I can't keep doing this. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, old school? What you mean? You know what I mean? I'm getting old. Old school? What's up? So you know, I realized that Chicago, man, it wasn't for me, man. And you know, the opportunity, you know, Chicago always gonna be my home, man. I love it. But you know, it wasn't no opportunity there. You know what I mean? Coming from the inner city, man. The streets is like a breed, you know what I'm saying, like an entity, man. You know, I done seen it suck a lot of people up, you know what I'm saying? People who's supposed to made it. And the only time we think, you know, that we figured that would be able to make it out is like rapping or playing ball. You know what I'm saying? We didn't have too many role models in the hood and nothing like that, except like the pimps and you know, the drug dealers and stuff like that, man. So that's who we looked up to. And you know, it's just like I said, the last thing I went to prison, man, it just was like they calling me old school. I'm like, man, you know, I got out and just it was just the same thing. You know, it was like a circle of chaos, man. It was just the same thing. You know what I mean? The same thing every time I build back up, I was go to get locked up and got to redo it again. So I was like, man, you know what? I gotta get up out of here. You know what I mean? I gotta have. I want to go somewhere where I can have more opportunity to spread my wings and find who I am because I don't want to be. Um, I didn't want to be a statistic of the streets. You know what I'm saying? And God blessed me long enough to, you know, I didn't see people that didn't make it past 20, 23. You know what I'm saying? And I'm like 30 something, 32, and you know what I mean? I'm still out here, you know, trying to hustle and I ain't balling yet. You know what I'm saying? Um, so I end up pretty much deal like this, man, and Preston went to came to Minnesota. I knew some people here. I stayed with them. Um, you know, and just tried to okay, I'm finna get my life together. You know what I mean? Just you know, I'm still drinking and stuff, but I got a job, landed a job and stuff, and um, feeling good, man. Messed around with this girl and this dude was selling, you know, selling weed, and I ended up selling weed and got fired, and I just like forget it, it's a wrap. And started like back again, hustling again. You know what I'm saying? It's just like I was just, I left the hood, but the hood didn't leave inside me, man. So I end up hustling, man. Start selling with crack or whatever, and then I ran into some people who were selling meth. I was like the middleman at first, and then I got saved me enough money, man, to get my like first you did. So pretty much like a long story short, that I end up using. I end up using the stuff I sold. You know what I mean? And, I was like using that first in the beginning, like just to stay up. And little did I know, man, it was a spiral. It was a downhill spiral. Everything seemed good in the beginning, but like the more I had, the more I used, and the more I partied, the more girls, the more what I mean. It was a downhill spiral. And I'm a manic depressor, so when things didn't go my way, I like use more. And it's just end up going to prison. End up going to jail, man. I did like a tour of duty around these jails, man, these county jails and stuff like that. And it just it's just I think about it to this day, man. It's just like, man, what I was thinking about. But I was just, that's all I knew. Um, so this last stint, I went to county jail, man, and did like about I don't know, like 12 months or something like that. Um, and I got out. And this was like 2018 or something like that, man. Like the middle, like April. And you know what I'm saying? My ex called me a money hungry bum. You know what I'm saying? And I put it like this. I was homeless too, man. Um, the last, like from 16, 2015, I was homeless from 2015 to like 2018. I still was homeless when I got out of jail. I was homeless when I went in. And my ex left me and called me a bum. That's all I want is money. You know what I mean? I ain't had that much money, but I'll end up selling again, but I was homeless, you know what I'm saying? I was sleeping on trains. When I did sleep, sometimes I end up walking around all day. You know what I mean? I walked around so much, man, my toenail fell off, and my boot just, you know what I mean? I wore the same clothes for like 30 days at a time, man. I was like, the drugs was messing me up, man. And I didn't know it, you know what I'm saying? I didn't like, you know what I mean? I'm seeing shadow people, man. They coming, you know what I'm saying? They jumping in the pole and not coming out. I'm going to acute psychiatric services, man. You know what I mean? Hopping up in there. I've been there for like about 20, 30 times, man. And it was messing my brain up. And I'm blessed I'm still a little crazy a little bit, feel. But,
Yeah, we all
but I'm,
are.
but I'm blessed that God brought me back. Well, you know what I'm saying, brought my mind state back because I know people who didn't come back, from that type of thing. But
Yep.
I just man, it was I tell the story, man. It's just like one day, man, I was in the trap house. I was trapping out of somebody else's apartment. I was good for that. Turning people apartments to trap houses, man. And I tell this story, man, all the time. It was like 5 people huddled on the bubble, and this girl on the corner, looking for a vein with a needle, man, like 2 hours, and just got this epiphany, man, moment of clarity, man. That's what I like to call when God called me. You know what I'm saying? Um, where it's just like I was high for like 5 days and steady getting higher, and it was just like a boom. You know what I mean? Like I'm looking around and like, what am I doing in here? You know what I'm saying? And I wasn't even high. I wasn't high no more. And my life I just thought about everything like that I did, man. I'm like, I can't believe what am I doing here, man? You know what I'm saying? I'm like 30 something sitting in here in the trap house waiting for these. Like it never occurred to me. I didn't been in this type of situations before to where it's hurry up, y'all. I'm trying to sell it to y'all. You know what I mean? But like it was just like it just hit me, man. It's just like a woof. And I like realized like where I was at and realized that I wasn't supposed to be there. You know what I mean? Like this wasn't for me no more. Like after just act like that. So I was on probation and stuff, and um, I checked myself into the shelter. I went to the shelter and checked myself in and stayed there. My probation officer was gonna lock me back up, because I was used to fall asleep in front of his desk, man, because I've been up for like 20 days and I come to see him and falling asleep. But I had to do something, man. So I ended up telling him that I denied using drugs at first already. You know what I mean? Like, oh no, I'm not using no drugs. I've been working temp job, man. I've been up doing 20, you know what I'm saying, 20 lying to him, whatever. But I told him, and I didn't care about the outcome. You know what I'm saying? Usually I don't even do that. You know what I'm saying? Like tell him myself. But it was just something that I think God wanted me to do. So I let him know. I said, hey man, no matter what the consequence, I just want to let you. I just want to be honest with you. I've been getting high, man. I think I need some help. You know what I'm saying? And I didn't know if he's gonna lock me up. He's gonna lock me up. I didn't really care at that point. Um, and luckily, he said, "I'm glad you was honest with me. Let's get you some help." So I ended up. I waited for 2 weeks before I got into treatment, but those 2 weeks I stayed sober myself. You know what I mean? I didn't use. You know what I'm saying? I really like wanted to change, but just didn't have no direction on how. I was just like pretty much following what God was telling me, to do. Um, so after them 2 weeks, they didn't respond. They said they ain't had no bed open. I went down there, and they said, "Oh, we got one open for you." You know what I'm saying? So went in there. Yeah, I called them for 2 weeks, and I said, "Man, forget this. I'm finna go down there." So I went down there.
Yeah.
Like, oh, just so happened that we do have a bed for you. You know what I mean? So I'm like, man, cool. That's what's up. And I've been calling for 2 weeks, Phil. But so they let me in. They let me in, and it was outpatient treatment with lodging, so which allowed me to have a place to stay. You know what I mean? So they gave me a key, man. And it was like, oh, I got a key. You know what I mean? I got a place to take a shower at without all these men, all these, you know what I'm saying, all these people around me. You know what I mean? So it was dope. I used it as a stepping stone. You know what I mean? I used it as a stepping stone and just was grateful, man. I was grateful I was able to brush my teeth every day. Okay, let me,
Mhm.
little stuff. Let me brush my teeth every day. Let me take a shower every day. Let me change my socks every day. You know what I'm saying? And just, you know what I mean, stuff that I wasn't doing. You know what I mean? Making my bed up every day. Like I took pride in that stuff. I treated it like it was my place. You know what I mean? And I did, I went to treatment and stuff. But I did some work outside of treatment too, man. Like reading different books and checking out books from the library and behavior modification and stuff like that. So like I was in it, to win it. um, and just I pretty much couldn't stream. I was working the program, man, but I wasn't like in anything like that. I didn't have a sponsor, nothing. I was just trying to stay sober, but it was still a hustle in me. That just because I got clean didn't mean I didn't have that hustle in me. I still had that trauma, that underlying trauma of the reason why I used. So what I'm saying, everything was a trigger to me. Girls, you know what I mean? People selling, me being broke, you know what I mean? Just trying to figure out ways like I didn't know. I'm like, okay, I'm not finna use, I'm finna, and my mentality was like, oh man, I'm sober now, I can sell all these drugs and not use. You know what I mean? So I tried all, you know what I mean? I tried that, it didn't work. So, you know what I'm saying? I'm like, okay, let me put on some gloves. I tried that, didn't work. You know what I mean? Try not to sell, it didn't work. And I used even bootleg liquor, and that still didn't work. I tried everything, man. And it was I was addicted to the lifestyle. I was addicted to the streets, the fast money, the girls, and all that different stuff, man. And on top of the drugs, you know what I mean? On top of the drugs and the alcohol and stuff like that. So I kind of figured this out, or God was talking to me all the way along the way. So I figured I need a little bit more. So I started going to programs and stuff or whatever. And I feel I just need to go to church. I just feel, what I'm saying? Okay, man, you know what? Church, my mom raised us in the church and stuff like that. So I just, let me try to go to church. And everybody pointed to the Life Center across the street. You know what I mean? So I started going to church and stuff like that, man. And the stuff that the pastor was saying, it wasn't really religious stuff, man. It was just like real life stuff. You know what I'm saying? Real, usually go to church and it's just religion. Hey, you don't do this or you going straight to hell. You know what I'm saying? It was a church. You know what I'm saying? It's like, hey, man, you know what? You can always be a better person and get your life together, and this is why. You know what I'm saying? So I kind of like resonated with that because that's exactly what I was trying to do, better myself. And I ended up going to well, before that happened, I still was had the little hustle bug or whatever. But I I threw away. I'm I had to make a choice. You know what I'm saying? I had to make a choice. I couldn't do both at the same time. I couldn't be sober and try to better myself and still be a hustler. You know what I'm saying? I had to let that old go, the old me go. You know what I'm saying? And I tried to hold on to that old me, you know what I'm saying, with my pinky finger. I tried to hold on, man. So I came, I made a decision, man. God pretty much like, man, you gotta make a decision, dude. You either go, you know what I'm saying? Can't be lukewarm. You can't be cold. You can't be hot. You know what I'm saying? You gotta be either or. So I was faced with a decision, man, and I chose the side that I'm on. So I ended up throwing like 2 ounces away, man. And kept an 8 ball in my sock, for just in case, for good measure. Just you never know what might happen. So I still had to hustle. I didn't want to let go, so I had it. Um, when I went to a meeting, man, and some dude came out the blue, man, and started talking to me about his dog, and then started talking to me about integrity. You know what I'm saying? What integrity is and stuff like that. Like, man, it's like he was talking to me, and God worked through people, man. And he was talking to me about integrity and what that means. And integrity is doing the right thing when nobody's looking and stuff like that. I'm like, okay, God, I hear you. So I threw that last piece of 8 ball away, man. I got baptized. That was my commitment. You know what I'm saying? That was got baptized on Father's Day, and that was my commitment that I made to God. To choose his side and stuff like that, man. Um, got a sponsor, man. Started going to some meetings and stuff like that, man. And just, I started working the program, man. I went to discipleship at church, which is a 12-month program. I tried to get in school. I couldn't do it. My student loan was defaulted, man. So I went and did the Recovery Coach Academy at Minnesota Recovery Connection, and became a recovery coach. Took the test and got certified. So once I was doing a little stuff, but before all that two field, I was doing volunteer work. You know what I'm saying? I was before I did any type of like work, I did a lot of volunteer work, man. You know what I'm saying? For Dorothy Day, St. Stephen's, the shelters, the soup kitchen, man, Sally, you know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? They did something you name it, United Way, you know what I'm saying? I did Let's Kick Honda, you know what I'm saying? I was just trying to do anything I can to get out the mentality of that I need I only can do things with money. You know what I'm saying? So I wanted to help myself get out that mentality, I mean, by doing something that don't cost nothing and I'm not getting nothing back in return. So like I started doing that, man, and then I started seeing people that I know because I was I was in the same places and stuff. They're like, hey man, I just want to let you know, man, you can be anywhere else, but you here, man, and I really appreciate you, you know, helping helping give us food, and it's like, wow, it's like you got that tingly feeling, you know what I'm saying? Tingly feeling inside, man. So like I said, I did the recovery coach thing, man. I ended up landing a job at I ended up working. Somebody, as I'm doing the volunteer work, somebody came to me and was like, "Hey, man, these people hiring. You need a job?" I'm like, "Yeah." And it happened to be for the attorney general's campaign. Like they didn't tell me what it was when they did, but it was for the attorney general campaign, man. And he won. We did door knocking for him, and then it turned into a field manager. They liked my work and stuff like that, and you know what I mean? It's just like little steps of like, those little steps, those little volunteer works and those jobs and the feeling of accomplishment, like replaced all the addiction, all the, what I'm saying, addiction that I experienced. You know what I'm saying? Like I wanted to do, like I was starting to get addicted to like doing good or, accomplishing goals and stuff like that. So when he won, it was a good feeling. Like I won. You know what I mean? So it's like, because you help somebody do something that was meaningful. You know what I'm saying? That was meaningful not only to him but for the people in general. And so did that. I was a youth counselor for Department of Corrections, juvenile thing or whatever. So after a year, I paid off my student loans, paid off your student loan. So I paid off, got it out of default and went back to school for my LADC. Um, and just going to, I was going to meetings, man, and was fellowshipping with like-minded people in recovery and stuff, and there was a lot of us, man, and we used to do a lot of things together. You know what I mean? I went to real work, that's my family. Um, and just what I mean, just like and just got involved. You know what I'm saying? Just got involved. It's the recovery field, the recovery world. In church. You know what I mean? I just got involved with doing good, man. And all these little. I'm not gonna say little. These was big. These was big crucibles in my life. You know what I'm saying? Dealing with people. They taught me how to love. These places taught me what it means to love because I didn't know. I didn't know how. You know what I'm saying? All I knew how to was to wreak havoc and sell drugs. You know what I'm saying? Like I attempted to love somebody, but every attempt to love that I had went toxic. You know what I'm saying? So by people supporting me and by people supporting me in my recovery and the church supporting me and being a better person, like that stuff molded uh, my character. You know what I mean? So now, I just, I went from a taker to a giver. I wanted to give back. I wanted to, you know what I mean? When this stuff has happened, I'm trying to figure out ways where I can give back because I at first I thought you had to be all the way recovered to give back. But I found out that is healing through giving back. You know what I mean? You don't have to be fully recovered. I don't think you ever be fully recovered, but you don't have to be fully recovered to give back, to be perfect, and then you can give back. You can still be a broken vessel, man, and still give back to people unconditionally. You know what I'm saying? And that's what I wanted to learn, like to love unconditionally and to do things from my heart and not expect nothing back in return. Because I expect something back in return. Everything. You know what I'm saying? So, you know what I mean? For me to work on that, you know what I'm saying? That's like a big thing that I worked on. Just me doing something not expecting nothing back in return. And as I built on that, different things started happening, man, in my life. And as I was sitting in my car one day, I just wanted to figure out how like I can, give back or encourage people and stuff like that. So that's why I made the Facebook group, the Hope Dealers. You know what I mean? Sitting in my car one day. Um,
Yeah, but I wrote down right here when that guy talked to you about integrity, bro. That's when you decided you were dealing hope and not dope no more.
yeah, that's
That's
exactly that was
that's that's
exactly
that
it.
that was a pivotal point. I wrote that
That
down because that was important.
that was
That's what
very important.
I got in my head. Like, man, that's the spot where JP was like, you know what? There's the dope. I'm gonna grab this hope
I'm gonna
and I'm
grab
gonna
this
start
hope, and
giving
that's
back.
that's exactly how it happened. You know what I'm saying? Like once that happened and I got baptized and I went to discipleship, this when all this stuff started happening.
Mm-hmm.
After that moment, that's what the pastor called crucible moments. Crucible moments in time that is pivotal within your life, your change, your growth. And that dude out the blue, oh man, my dog, oh these things with his toys and all this, but integrity. You know what I mean? Integrity, boy. I'm like, he know I got it. He got it. Know I got this 8 ball in my sock. You know what I'm saying? So I threw it away, and I told my boy, I was like, hey man, look, I'm just showing you, I got this, and I'm finna throw it away. You know what I'm saying? I had to hold myself accountable. You know what I mean? And yeah, that was a crucial moment, man. I just, I just, it got to a point, man, that I just woke up every day and just wanted to be better. You know what I'm saying? And be better. At one point, it was a perfection at one point in time. I wanted to do everything perfect. But during that time frame, as I started getting better, I started healing, and I started doing other things. It started, I didn't want perfection anymore. I wanted to be authentic. I wanted to be genuine. I wanted to smile at you and actually mean that I'm happy to see you. You know what I'm saying? Like, man, I'm happy to see you. Like, I worked on being a genuine person. I'm still working on being a genuine person. You know what I'm saying? Because if perfection is, you know what I'm saying, I'm not gonna be perfect, but I can be genuine. You know what I'm saying? I can mean some stuff and be genuine not only with other people but myself. Be authentic with myself too. You know what I'm saying? And as I started working on this, you know what I'm saying, I started doing the, hope dealer thing, just like encouraging, as I'm encouraging other people, I'm encouraging myself. You know what I'm saying? Like, oh, this is a nice little meme. Let me throw that out there. You know what I'm saying? And it went from like 79 people, man, to what, 3,200 people. Before all that happened, somebody tried to take my group, man, and God used uh, bad things for the greater good. You know what I'm saying? Because it wasn't meant. I just wanted to be a Facebook group. You know what I'm saying? Like a Facebook group, put up people in recovery together, you know what I'm saying, and stuff like that, man. And people start texting me, man, like, hey, man, like my boy Frank let me know. It was like, hey, man, I just want to let you know your group will help me out because I'm an 18 wheeler, man. I'm going state for state and I can't go to no meetings and your group helping me out. You know what I'm saying? Stuff like that. I'm like, oh, okay. It really is, you know what I mean? It really is helping people out. So then, somebody tried to steal the group. um, long story, but you know what I'm saying. But I ended up incorporating, making it into a nonprofit. That way covering myself on whatever, you know what I mean. If anybody tries to do, you know what I mean. But it was like I said, that moment too was for the greater good. Even though it looked bad at first, it's just somebody trying to make my hoodies and stuff or whatever. But anyway, it looked bad at first, but it turned out to be a blessed moment. Like I want to shake his hand when I see him, you know what I'm saying? Like, thanks, man, because I wouldn't have went that way if this didn't happen. You know what I'm saying? Like it might have just been a steal Facebook group in another dimension. It might just, but so I incorporated as a nonprofit and that just built off of it from there. Okay, what can I do next? You know what I'm saying? So I turned it I filled out the 501c3 paperwork, you know what I mean? And COVID and stuff happened. So we was out there on the front lines of COVID because a lot of people in recovery and sober housing and stuff and treatment centers couldn't go nowhere. So that means they couldn't get like essential items and stuff like that. So we like teamed up with like MRC and stuff and did the Baskets of Hope thing and went out with them, you know what I'm saying? Went out to the different sober houses and stuff and just hand them out. You know what I mean? And it turned out to be like, okay, well, like a frontline thing. We was already doing a lot of stuff at outreach for our church. You know what I'm saying? So we just, started doing like stuff with the church, like passing out Narcan to homeless encampments and stuff. It just, you know what I mean? It just, it just turned into a big, um, you know what I mean? Like, man, these are people that I want to reach. You know what I'm saying? The people like me. You know what I'm saying? That that's where I was at. And they was, man, the people was grateful, man. That we came and and because wasn't nobody out there in the pandemic, man. Wasn't nobody too much out in the street during, you know what I mean, during that, man. Whatever, we was out there. We didn't care. We wanted to make sure some people, at least in Minneapolis, was straight. Um, and yeah, and then joined the National Council of Nonprofits and all that stuff, man. And then ARCO, man, and became a full blown recovery community organization. Um, and it's just a blessing, man. It's just God. Man. It's God. After that, man, was doing pretty good in school. You know what I mean? At one point in time, Phil, I was working as a recovery coach. Um, I was working at youth council full time, a recovery coach part time. I was going to school full time, and I was doing discipleship classes. Like I was working, man. I was, at one point in time. You know what I mean? And I see why. And God revealed stuff to us, man, later, and you see why. I just recently got um, um, my background study from the DHS, man, and it came back and it gave me a set aside, man, to complete my addiction counseling degree. You know what I'm saying? It's just a blessing, man, especially with a person with my background. You know what I mean? But I've been doing my best, man, to be obedient to God, man, and sow these seeds that God want me to do, man, and pass out some hope instead of dope, and just trying to listen to that, and God bless me, man, with the ability to finish what I dreamed, what I dreamed to do, to set out. You know what I mean? And it's all in God's plan, and none of this is me, bro, because I tried it for 25, 30 years, man, and it didn't work. You know what I'm saying? As soon as I was able to, follow God's lead, man, and be obedient and not question stuff like I did, that's when, God took me from glory to glory to glory, man. You know what I mean? I finished discipleship. I got married to my beautiful wife. You know what I'm saying? It was, you know what I mean? I stopped for a year, man, and did what my sponsor told me to do. No mess with relationships and nothing like that. Within a year, man, and worked on myself. And as that year I worked on myself, I went to discipleship. You know what I'm saying? Like I didn't even own a TV for 2 years, man, because I was trying to get better, man, and just hear from God and just work on myself. And you know what I'm saying? And God blessed me with a wife too. You know what I'm saying? It's just, man, it's just glory. My life, ever since that moment that you said about integrity, after that happened, man, my life has just been, it's been an amazing journey. You know what I'm saying? It's just been amazing, man. And can't nobody tell me God ain't real, bro. They gave me a set aside from the DHS, man. God is real, bro. You know what I'm saying? And, you know what I mean? To be able to do that, man, and you know, and it's just a blessing, man, to be able to finish this what I started. You know what I'm saying? And then, like I said, I never finished nothing I started, man, until I surrendered and gave my life over to God, man, and genuinely care about people and help people. You know what I'm saying? And like doing it, and like we was talking before, like I'm not getting paid for none of this stuff. You know what I'm saying? None of the Hope Dealer stuff, man. I'm doing it because I know how it feels to not have any direction, and to want some help but don't know which way to go. You know what I'm saying? So if I can compile some resources, man, and give somebody a roadmap to get them some help, and they really want it and follow through with it, you know what I'm saying? That, you know what I'm saying? They can, and it'd be a ripple effect, because then they can get it, and somebody else, you know what I'm saying? They can help the next person, help the next person, help the next person, man. We have a whole generation of hope deals. you know.
That's right.
And it starts with the kids too, man. You know what I'm saying? It's somebody made a quote the other day, man, that stuck with me, because I also work in the youth ministry at the church. I'm part of the ministry of the church. I work in the youth ministry at CCM Life Center. So they also help me out. I really appreciate them, because they help me out with my dream. You know what I'm saying? With my vision and stuff with the Hope Dealer stuff too. So I really appreciate Pastor Mark. I really appreciate you. I love you. But somebody said a quote, man, that it's easier to build strong kids than to repair broken men. And that stuck with me, man. You know what I'm saying? I mean, it's easier to build strong children than to repair broken men. And that stuck with me, man. It's, you know what I'm saying? We got to start with the youth. And I think that's part of one of, my calling too, man, is to holler at the kids too, man. And, try to, I grew up with no father. You know what I mean? I grew up with no father figure, and no role models, and there's not a lot of role models out here, man. And I just want to be a person, man, that lead by example. You know what I mean? That to show people, give people hope that it's possible. You know what I'm saying? Hey, man, you can get out the hood, man. All you gotta do is want it. Want it and have hope and believe. You know what I'm saying? In God and yourself. You know what I'm saying? And that phrase resonated with me, man. You know what I mean? So um, I'm just gonna do my best with what I can to walk in my calling, man. But then keep that phrase with me, because if we can stop we can stop the madness, or stop uh people experiencing addiction early. You know what I mean? We have a good chance of raising a generation of hope builders, man.
That's right. That's funny. My They were talking about that last week at our church too.
Yeah.
Yeah, they were talking about making sure the gospel is a part of our children's lives. Teaching them young, right?
Mm.
Because back in the day, there was generations in the Bible that, you know, the elders or the generation that knew God didn't teach it.
Mm.
So then generations grew up and they had no idea, and they, there was a lot more to it. I'm just paraphrasing, but it was the same type of thing. We have to teach young, because it's a lot easier to build them young than it is to try to repair people like we were.
Right. Which is we repairable. up to
A
a
little
certain
terrible.
extent. You know what I'm saying? Right.
But
But it's a little bit
let's make it smarter, not harder type deal.
right.
That's
Right.
what it's about. It's making it smarter and not harder. And it is true, it's true that we have to get the youth, because then we might be able to change someone's life before it's too late, and then they might not ever take that first hit or that first drink, because they're like, you know what, I'm good, man. I heard what my guy JP said about that bogus stuff. You know what I
And
mean?
it's
And that's
yeah.
the hope, right? That's the hope. It's like that's the hope. It's like when people know about me and know about my life and know about your life, right? It's like, nah, man. The younger generation should look at us and say, nah, I ain't touching meth because I don't want
Right.
nothing to do with what those guys were involved in,
Exactly.
right?
And our job too, our secondary job, man. Like one of our ministers said, man, our secondary job is to help people find their purpose faster than we found ours. You know what I'm saying? That's our secondary job as leaders, also. You know what I mean? So if we can help these young people, the youth, find their purpose faster than we found ours, and like I said, it's a ripple effect. They find a purpose, they won't have to go that route that we did. You know what I mean? They can find a purpose and they can walk in it and live in it. You know what I mean? And then they can help somebody else find their purpose early. You know what I mean? It's just like it's a chain reaction. And
Yep. And then when
I'm a
you find
firm
your
believer.
purpose, usually that means you're connected with God in some way.
Hmm.
And there's a purpose, right? And you get in touch with what God has in store for you, His will, right?
Exactly.
Then what happens is, man, things just start to open up. You start to see things for what they were, not not what you thought they were at the time. Like how you look at your life and how He's prepared you the
Right.
whole way. And you're like, this all happened, but now I see why. Now I see why I was working my tail off, because
Right.
now I just got to set aside and I'm about to get into this. You know what I mean? And
Right.
you never gave up.
And
You're still
that's
out
it
there
in
doing your
itself.
thing, man.
That's it for itself. I didn't when I didn't get to say when they denied me, I didn't stop. You know what I'm saying? I didn't stop doing what I was doing. You know what I mean? And that's another thing, man. Never give up. You know what I'm saying? Never give up on your dreams, man, on your life. You know what I'm saying? And if it don't happen, then it probably wasn't meant for you. You know what I'm saying? But on the same token, you still want, we it's like they say at Will Work, man, we fight for our life on a daily basis. You know what I'm saying? Just to say stay clean and sober. But we also have to fight for our life and our futures and our dreams too. You know what I'm saying? In order for us to go further or be a better person. Because if we don't fight for it and we lose, it's not really a loss, it's a lesson. But at least we fought for it. But you know what I'm saying? If you don't fight for it, if you don't, if, you know what I mean? If you give up, you won't ever have that opportunity. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, I just want to be, um, that example of not giving up and believing in God. You know what I mean? To fight my battles and stuff like that, man, and just to give people hope, like things can happen, no matter how old you are. You know what I'm saying? No matter, what you done did, what we do don't define who we are, man. You believe in God and, give your life over to God, man. He'll take you. This is bigger. My life is bigger than God made my life bigger than what I imagined in myself. You know what
Yep.
I'm saying? Like, you know what I mean? I didn't think I didn't think none of this, man. You know what I'm saying? I didn't think things was gonna be like this. You know what I mean? I could have just not, just accepted them not denying my set aside and stuff like that. But it took me a year. It took me a year for them to approve my set aside. But as I was going to school, since I have a recovery community organization, I took some small business classes. You know what I'm saying? I did some stuff. You know what I'm saying? I didn't stop. I didn't get weary of doing good work. You know what I'm saying? I didn't let that stop me. You know what I'm saying? Because if that didn't work out, that's fine. I'm just gonna keep doing it. You know what I mean? I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna leave that right there. I'm gonna leave that leave that up to God, and I'm just gonna keep doing the next right thing. And by me doing that, man, God, bless me. You know what I'm saying with that to be able to complete that, and it's just amazing, man.
It is amazing. It's definitely sometimes when I look back at my life, um, sometimes it's weird, man. I'll just one day I'll just have like a thought and I'll look back and I'll get emotional because of how far I've came. like looking back, like when you talked about being homeless and not changing and not sleeping and losing your toenail, you know, you were hopeless, bro. For real.
Hopeless.
I wrote that, hopeless AF, right on my piece of paper. I felt that too. I was homeless too before in Minnesota. My dad told me when I was 18, he said, I'm leaving. I said, I'm staying up here with my friends. He said, boy, you're going to end up in jail. Sure enough, old man was right.
Yeah. Right.
And he was right about my friends too when he said, hey, be careful with your friends, man. Where are they going to be in 5 years? And, you know, when I didn't have drugs or money, what happened? I didn't have nowhere to go, man.
Yeah, it was gone.
I didn't have nowhere to go, so I would do the same thing. I would stay up all night. I would sleep in cars in the winter, stay up all night walking when there was no one around. You know, and finally, that's when I flipped a little switch. You know, I always had a conscience. And I was like, you know what? Flipped the switch, and I was like, I don't care no more. I'm on savage mode. And I just started doing people dirty and being, you know, getting more into the person that God didn't want me to be. Right. It just that's what happened. And, you know, thank God I was sentenced to prison, and that's what happened to me. You know, I was sentenced to prison, and in prison I still struggled with addictions, blackout drunk, even in the joint, man, blacking out drunk, waking up in segregation, like, what happened? You know, like it was a surprise to me that when I drank, I didn't end up in blackout or end up in jail, but I did that in prison and ended up in the hole. And what happened was I got in a bunch of trouble. But like you said, man, what happened back there was I hit my knees and I cried out to God. What happened was I got let out of seg early on a mistake made by discipline. That don't happen. Right. It don't happen. That happened. I still had enough time to get in treatment. When I got out, I went to an AA meeting. Now this is in the joint. I went to an AA meeting, and I didn't go to that meeting to get any AA. I just went to check in to let people know, hey, I'm out of the box, yada, yada, see the boys. And the guy who ran that treatment center came out of the room he was in. We were separated in 2 rooms. And he came out and he grabbed me. And he said, I remember you were serious about treatment. He goes, I left your file open for some reason because he seen that I was in the hole. He said, I see that you had enough time and I've been waiting on you to get out. Do you want to come to treatment? And I'm like, yeah, man, whatever. Yeah. I just didn't want to lose the good time. But when I was back there, someone spoke hope into my life. Someone changed me, and I did the same thing you did, man. I started to develop what's called integrity. That changed my life. For someone like me, from being criminalistic, right? Mm-hmm. From being a hustler to actually having some real integrity.
Right.
2 of the exact opposites. And what it is integrity takes more courage than all that crap we thought that made us tough. Integrity takes more courage and more courage and more strength than any of that negative stuff that we thought we were Billy badasses with. You know what I mean? We punching people, robbing people, stealing from people. We thought we were doing this and that. No, man, that stuff was easy. It's the hard stuff that makes men, right? It is. It's the hard stuff. And, you know, it's the right things to do for guys like us at those times are just so difficult. You said it in your story multiple times. That's why it got me wanting to talk about my story. Right. Because I relate with it, man. I felt that. I was hopeless too, man. I slept. I was alone, man. And when you're alone out there, and then, you know, it's a sad deal. I mean, I've had cops pick me up on the side of the road where I'm crying on someone's front door and I didn't even know about it. You know, that's part of some stuff that, you know, I know it's there, but I like to forget about that part. But that's really what addiction is. You know, a lot of times we want to talk about, you know, all the good stuff, right? No, I want to talk about all the bad stuff that I felt. I want to talk about all the loneliness that I felt. And I want to talk about all the people that I harmed, because that matters. And that's why today we do what we do on here. You do it on Minnesota Hope Dealerz Facebook page. I do it on here, and I share in that group too. That group's a rock star group. Everybody in that group, shout out to you guys if you're watching, Minnesota Hope Dealerz. straight up, man, I'm getting pumped just sitting here talking about it because, social media, people think, people can get seen on social media. That's how I met you.
Yeah,
People
that's
can
how I
get
met a lot of
seen.
people.
Yeah, and hope can be spread on social media. Like
Yeah,
this is for real, man. This ain't no joke. Like that, people are out there looking and they see what we're
right.
doing, and people reach out to me when I don't go live, and they ask
Phil,
me,
you want to hear something? I mean, cut you off. You want to hear
"Yeah,
something?
go
You want to hear
ahead."
something crazy? Now I used to use Facebook Messenger, man, to sell drugs on. I used to use like Facebook to sell drugs on. You know what I'm saying? Deal hope now. I'm deal dope now. I'm dealing hope on it. You know what I'm saying? God could use, you know what I'm saying, whatever's bad, man, for good. You know,
That's right.
and it's
It's the
crazy.
truth.
Yeah,
Now we used to know how to get our stuff everywhere. We knew how to market ourselves.
yeah,
We knew how to be in 30 different places at once. Now we can do that for recovery. We can help other
exactly.
people with those skills. We can also delegate things because leaders can delegate people. They can tell
Mm,
people what, leaders automatically lead. People will listen to them. Now we don't have to lead negativity anymore. Now we're leading positivity. We're leading by better examples,
mm,
and
yeah,
it's
man.
it's God, because only God can do
Yeah,
that. Only
only
God
God,
can
man.
take some people like we were and turn them around from dealing dope to dealing hope. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
yeah. I knew, I knew that. I was thug like Phil. You know what I'm saying? And you know, and that was people still it's just it's it God always amazes me, man. You know what I'm saying? He has taken nobodies, man, and made them into somebody's, man. You know what I'm saying? For his glory. You know what I mean? Just made, just like me speaking for myself, man, scum of the earth, man. You know what I'm saying? And
Yep.
not to say, you know what I'm saying, that nobody had to go through the stuff that I have, but everybody, a lot of people are in mental prisons. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people are in mental prisons. But the hope is that, you know what I'm saying, we can get out that mental prison. And if somebody, you know what I'm saying, somebody from the gutter, man, can do something and make an impact in people's lives, and you know what I mean, and different things like that, man. It's hope for everybody. You know what I mean? It's hope for everybody who's going through any situation, any type of drama, any type of addiction that they experience, and homelessness. You know what I'm saying? It's hope for everybody. You know what I mean? As long as you have hope, man, you can a little like a mustard, just like faith, a little mustard seed of faith, a little mustard seed of hope too. You know what I mean? Can bloom into something beautiful, man. And I just want to, there's all the people out there watching, suicidal ideologies, and you know what I mean, and just think that they can't make it, and things getting hard and struggle. Just don't give up, man. Because don't give up until the miracle happens. Don't give up. You know what I mean? Because once that struggle is over with, some good gonna happen. You know what I mean? As long as you endure, as long as you get through it, some good gonna happen, and that good is gonna be your strength to handle more. To handle more things and live life on life terms, man. So just don't give up, y'all, on nothing.
That's that's straight fire right there. Don't give up.
Don't give up.
Don't give up before the miracle happens.
Don't give up before the miracle happens,
And
man.
I know that
I'm
somebody's out
living.
there today, they're struggling. Somebody's going to
Yeah,
run across this video and they're going to be struggling. Don't give up before the miracle happens.
don't
We
give
all
up before the
struggle
miracle.
daily. If you're
I struggled
struggling,
for 30 years. I
yeah, I
struggled for. I
struggled for
was hopeless for 30
27 years.
years. Right. I was hopeless for 30 years, and even after that, Phil, you know what I'm saying? God turned my life around in a matter of 3 years, man. Since 2018, all this stuff happened between 2018 and 2021. Don't give up for a miracle happen.
That's right. Don't give up before God reveals his purpose on your life, because that's the miracle we're
Hmm.
talking about.
That's the
We
miracle.
want that. That's what you want to see. You want to be able to visualize what you need to be doing on this world. God's going to reveal that to you. When your head and your heart connect, man, it's a magical thing. It really is. It's a magical thing. It's a spiritual thing. We do we had a good live tonight. JP definitely shared a lot of hope with us. His story was very inspirational. It reminded me a lot of myself, just with certain scenarios. It's funny how we think we're so unique. And then everybody that comes on, even your wife, I'm like, man, you got me thinking about this. That's just how I am. I can relate to people, man.
Right.
And you telling your story about walking around in the train tracks, and even the guy, man, God puts people in our lives for a reason. And I say that all the time on here. There are certain people, they've been on this platform, and you know, God put them in my life for a reason at that time. You know, I have a mentor that came on here, and he doesn't accredit any of anything, but I look at him as a pivotal part of my life. He was the one that spoke hope into my life and told me he was the one that told me that, hey, you don't have to come back. All right, so JP must have had a dip because he just bounced off the stage, or that was an accident. I don't know, but we were closing out. I will let, he's coming back on. I'm going to pull him back. I see him. So I was like, man, I don't know what happened to JP. He must have had a dip. I was like, we were closing out. I'm going to close this out. Then I see you come on.
They can't kick me out yet. No, I'm still here, man. I appreciate you, man. Shout out to my sponsor too, man. Shout out to Rob Herman. Rob, I love you, bro. Thank you for sticking with me. You know what I'm saying? Even during my reoccurrence, man, he was with me, you know what I'm saying, and taught me a lot, man. You showed me what love is. You know what I'm saying? You was strong, even though you was strong and helping other people while you was hurting, man. I always love you for that, bro. Just want to shout him out, man.
Right on. All right, brother. I'm gonna pull you back. I'm gonna close this out. Good chat. I will message you later, and we'll catch up. I appreciate you coming on, man. Thank you for sharing your story and sharing your hope with us. You are that Minnesota official hope dealer. JP, man, thank you, brother. What a pleasure. Peace. All right, everybody. Thank you for tuning in to another Saturday Night Live. I appreciate you guys' shares, likes, and support. Tonight we had JP on from the official Minnesota Hope Dealers Facebook group. Go check that group out. He also has a website that's attached to that group. So get on that group. Check that out if you're in recovery. I appreciate all you guys for continuing to support this page. We might be live next week. We might not. I don't know. We will see if we have someone on the schedule that's willing to come on. If not, we will figure something else out. Otherwise, man, you guys have a great night. I appreciate all your shares, likes, and comments. Thank you for tuning in. Have a blessed night. Peace.